Good morning. This is Carla Lamilio, and I am recording a voiceover for my presentation on domestic violence. This presentation will cover who the victims of domestic violence are, who the batterers of domestic violence are, and two experts in the field of domestic violence. So the impact of domestic violence and abuse on emotional health and the ability to recover are the key points that I will be covering in my final presentation. Who the victims are, who the perpetrators are, and statistics that are relevant to domestic violence. According to the American Psychology Association, 1 out of every 3 women has experienced intimate partner abuse during her lifetime. So there are questions about why does she stay, and there are questions about why perpetrators batter. I'd like to introduce our experts. Dr. Hillary Abrams, who has worked extensively in the field of domestic violence and studying the symptoms and treatments for women who have been battered. And our other doctor is Dr. Javier Fernandez Montalvo, who has published more than 100 articles and studies battering behavior and treatments for this behavior. First, let's focus on Dr. Hillary Abrams. She's an expert in the field and also has written many articles about the ethics of research with vulnerable populations such as victims of domestic violence, and has studied extensively and written a wonderful book about the outcomes for women who come to a battered women's shelter in Bristol, England, Great Britain. Dr. Montalvo studies the psychological treatments and the reasons why men batter, helps them develop coping skills and to break the cycle of violence. Both Dr. Abrams and Dr. Montalvo agree that batterers can be either gender. Men are the majority of the batterers that they encounter. However, there are different assessments and treatments. Dr. Abrams recommends assessment of a PTSD diagnosis, and then the recommended treatment is she says it is paramount that the women's need to feel safe be addressed, and then the other recommendation is that they be taught coping skills. Dr. Montalvo helps the men accept responsibility for their actions, teaches them relapse prevention skills and coping skills. The final page is our references, APA format references, so that you can find the information yourself that I found helpful to write, to develop this PowerPoint.